So let's talk about the game between the Aces and the Fever last night, because the reality is the Fever are not a championship team right now. And that's perfectly okay, because when you're playing an Aces team who has a Kelsey Plum, an Asia Wilson, a Chelsea Gray, a Jackie Young, who have been playing together since 2021, they won back-to-back championships. Experience and chemistry is going to matter. Kelsey Mitchell, Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, that's their core pieces. And I'll throw in Lexi Hall as well. They've only been playing together for 4 months. So obviously, there is going to be a stark difference in performance here when it comes to a playoff team and a championship team. The Aces are just on a different level than the Indiana Fever. Let's break down the best players. Asia Wilson is clearly the best player in the WNBA, and it's not even a conversation. It's not for debate. I know people want to put Caitlin Clark ahead of her, but that's premature. Caitlin Clark is still a rookie in this league. She's got to work on her half-court game. She's got to work on playing better perimeter defense. These are things she'll get better at when she has an entire offseason to work on. But if your expectations for the Fever this season is to get to the WNBA Finals, you are going to be sadly disappointed, because when you look at the construction of this roster, when it comes to the Fever, they lack athletic wings. Outside of Lexi Hall, who else can guard somebody in the perimeter? Really, who can? Caitlin Clark, she gets blown by. She's still not that good yet. You look at Kelsey Mitchell, she's too small. Aaliyah Boston is a solid big, but she can't go out there, hold her own in the perimeter. So you look at the other pieces on this team, Nalissa Smith. You look at Katie Lou Samuelson, who's a three-point specialist. However, she doesn't shoot the ball well, and she does nothing else on the basketball court. She can't rebound very well. She's not a good playmaker. She can't guard anybody. So if she's not hitting her three-point shot, she offers no value on the basketball court. You look at Fag Bentley, really good on defense, but offense, she lacks some skills. You look at Nalissa Smith, really good on offense, but her defense isn't that good. So there's a lot of redundancy when it comes to Nalissa Smith, Aaliyah Boston, Fag Bentley, Katie Lou Samuelson, and Dantas. What the Fever need to figure out is, how can we get a really good backup wing to help out Lexi Hall? How can we add more wings to this team so we have more versatility on the defensive end? Because I know people are going to say, well, it's Chrissy Side's fault. Yes, she deserves some blame. However, if you bring the same roster next season, you're going to get the same results. And when it comes to Asia Wilson, she is the best player in the WNBA right now. It's obvious. And even though she struggled shooting last night, 11 of 26, the first quarter, the Aces didn't freak out when they were down early on. They just gave the ball to Asia Wilson. She shot in the mid-range shot, made 8 points in 6 minutes, and all of a sudden, it's a close game again. When you have the best player in the basketball court, you're going to win a lot of games. Now, I want to show you guys what I'm talking about even more when it comes to the Fever and the Aces. The Aces with Alicia Clark and Tiffany Hayes, they had 26 points combined, plus 14 for Clark and a plus 17 for Hayes. You look down at the Fever's bench, 11 points total. Fag Bentley had 6 points. Erica Wheeler had 5 points. The problem here is that they don't have a really good shot creator off the bench. They don't have a backup point guard who can orchestrate the offense to make sure everything's still running smoothly. And when you lack athletic wings and you're mismatch hunting to get an easy basket, it's not hard for the opponent, because you have Dantas who moves slow. Samuelson can't guard anybody. Fag Bentley, she's good in the post, but if you keep putting her on the perimeter, she's going to get tired. And Nalissa Smith, she can't guard anybody in the perimeter. So the only one who could really hold their own is Lexi Hall. Mitchell's more of an offensive-minded player. So is Caitlin Clark. So you see, when it comes to the Fever, they lack some weapons right now. They need to improve with their perimeter defense, and you're going to do that if you get better athletic wings out there. Am I saying that the Fever is a bad basketball team? No, but there are levels to this. And when it comes to the Aces, they have been here before, time and time again. I know they had their struggles after the All-Star break, but I was like, you know what? It doesn't matter. Wait till we get closer to the playoffs, because they're going to ramp things up and they're going to turn things around. And all of a sudden, they've been winning a lot of games lately. They had this tough stretch, and the Aces are doing fine. But that's why experience matters. You saw the game against the Minnesota Lynx. The Fever had a 10-point lead. The Lynx went on a run, and the game was over after they got the lead. Once the Aces calmed down when they were down early 7-0, the game was finished. We can talk about the calls and the phantom calls all day long, but at the end of the day, the Aces are just a better basketball team. The Fever are just not there yet, and that's perfectly okay. They've had a phenomenal season. They haven't had a winning record in a long time. They started 1-8. They're now 19-18. They've had a great turnaround, but you have to be objective with the construction of this roster. They have flaws. And when they go to the offseason, they need to improve this roster if they want to keep building this momentum and eventually become a championship contender. Is it going to happen overnight? I don't believe so, because when it comes to winning a championship, you have to go on a journey, and there's a process in getting there. So if I expect Caitlin Clark is going to win a championship next season, that might not be realistic. It's not knocking her down. It's that you got to consider injuries. You got to consider other teams getting better. And at the end of the day, if you're not going to improve the weaknesses, how do you expect things to improve next season? It's just not going to happen. So again, there's going to be some lessons that the Fever are going to have to learn. And when they get to the playoffs, if they get knocked down the first round, or let's just say you get to the second round and get swept by the Lynx or the Aces, it's not a bad thing. And when it comes to championship level teams and they know how to expose your weaknesses and you can't find a way to hide them, then you're going to get knocked out early. So yeah, I mean, the Aces are a phenomenal basketball team. A'ja Wilson is the clear MVP. I don't know if it should be unanimous because I think Clark will get a vote or two. But at the end of the day, she is a phenomenal basketball player. She's the best player right now. And she showed why. I think tomorrow she's really going to turn things around. I think she's going to shoot better. I think Caitlin will also shoot better. She was 6 of 22, 1 of 10 from 3. I think that would get better. Also, keep in mind, the Aces made Caitlin Clark into a scorer rather than a playmaker. She only had 6 assists. And when she tried to get her teammates involved, they were cutting off those passing lanes. And they were very alert to make sure that other players on the Fever won't beat them. It was a great strategy. Kelsey Mitchell was really good. I thought she picked her spots when she was trying to get her threes and trying to get in the lane and get the mid-range game going. She kept them afloat, but at the end of the day, the Aces were just a better basketball team. They showed why they're the back-to-back champs. Hope you guys enjoyed this video today. I'd love to hear your thoughts about the game between the Aces and the Fever. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.